So I do want to start this video by taking a second to show you the products that I used. If you start at the top left, you'll see the Josie Maran Argan Illuminizer. Right next to that is the Laura Geller Welcome Matte Face Primer. To the right of that, you'll see a concealer, the Dream Lumi. This is a drugstore concealer, and it's in the shade Nude. Next to that, the black bottle is a Smashbox BB cream. To the right of that is a Boscia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, a Boscia BB cream in the shade Bronze. To the side of that is a Tarte pressed powder. The next row, all the way to the left, we start with a bronzer by MAC, and that's in the shade Give Me Sun. Right next to that is a highlighter by Becca in the shade Opal. Next to that is another highlighter slash bronzer by MAC in the shade Gold Deposit. To the right of that is the blush that I used. It's so gorgeous, this blush, my favorite. It's by MAC and it's in the shade Style. You're going to see two eyeshadows there. One is by Colourpop Cosmetics and it's in the shade Super Shock. To the right of that is Makeup Geek Afterglow, and that's a loose pigment. Right underneath that, you're going to see two lip glosses. They're by Gerard Cosmetics. I mixed both of those shades for this video. That's in the shade Buttercream and Salmon. Right next to that, you're going to see a black pencil. That's a nude pencil that I used for her waterline. Underneath the eyeshadow glue, the eyelash glue that you see there, is a NYX concealer for dark circles and a powder for eyebrows. I kind of used a empty container from the lashes just to show you that these are the Demi Wispies, and I also have MAC Fix Plus down there. That's a spray that I used after everything to kind of just finish up the look. And yeah, and my beauty blender. So I hope you guys really enjoy this look. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm sorry I took up 2 minutes, but let's get into the video. So to start this look, I'm going to be using the Welcome Matte Skin Enhancer by Laura Geller. And this is a mattifying primer, and I'm doing a really dewy and glowy look on her, so I kind of don't want her to get oily on her own because it'll kind of make everything look greasy at that point. So I just want her to have a nice glow, but of course keep the oil away. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the Josie Maran Argan Illuminizer, and I'm kind of just dabbing that all over her face. It's like a bronzing, shimmery kind of, not really shimmery, like a skin illuminizer, and this is just going to go underneath her foundation to give her a really nice healthy glow. And you can use this on your own without foundation and kind of just wear it like that. It gives you a really nice glow to your skin. So I want her skin to look really refreshed and dewy, so this is definitely going to help me get there. And I'm dabbing it, not rubbing it, because I did put a primer underneath and I don't really want anything to move or come off. Now I'm using the Smashbox BB cream, and this has like a SPF of 30, and I think it's really good for summer, and it's really light. The shade that I'm using on her is light medium. I will say they don't have a crazy amount of shades. I think there's like 4 or 5 shades last time I checked. I don't know if they changed that, but I really like this for summertime, and it has pretty good coverage. A lot of BB creams don't really have, I can't say from my experience that they've had great coverage. So this one I definitely like. And I'm using a damp beauty blender all over her face. I'm using the pointy end of the beauty blender. I just found out recently that if you use any other side, it kind of takes away the coverage. So if you use the pointy side of it, that's meant to keep full coverage makeup on. And of course, make sure you go down your neck into your hairline. You don't want to have 2 different shades from your face to your neck. Makes everything even and flawless looking. Now I tried to not take out too many clips from this video. I kind of want you to see me doing her makeup in real time, just to see, you know, how long I take to kind of do everything. And, you know, I go back over the same areas to make sure everything is blended well. Now I'm using, I think it's called Boscia, their BB cream, and this is a bronze BB cream. It doesn't come in like shades of light, medium, or dark. It's just kind of a bronze BB cream. It's not full coverage. I just think it gives a really, really nice bronzy glow to the skin, and it makes it look really healthy. You can see that it looks pretty dark when I first dab it on her face, but it shears out really good, and it just makes you look really healthy and glowy. So I'm just putting that right on top as like an extra layer to give her some bronziness to her skin. Now I'm taking the NYX concealer, and this is the Dark Circle concealer, and I believe this is medium. It's kind of like a salmon kind of concealer, and this is just canceling out any darkness under her eyes or on her eyelids, so that I have a clean and kind of neutral base to move forward with. And I'm just doing that with the Beauty Blender, and you'll notice that I'm patting under her eyes back and forth, and that's kind of making sure that the concealer is getting in any fine lines that she has under there. If you kind of swipe one way, it doesn't really get inside of those lines. Now I'm using a concealer, the Dream Lumi concealer, and I believe this is Maybelline. Don't quote me. I'm definitely going to put that in the description bar. I forgot the brand, but the shade is Nude. It's Dream Lumi, and I'm using this as a concealer all over her face and in her T-zone. Not really all over her face, only in her T-zone, sorry. And using the same Beauty Blender just to blend this all out. I'm not too worried about using the same Beauty Blender because I don't want a crazy strong highlight. I know this looks strong right now, but I definitely soften it up a little bit. So if there's a little foundation left on top of it, it's no big deal. I want this to look really natural and glowy, so I don't need, you know, a clean Beauty Blender to go in with. And of course, I used the Dark Circle concealer first. You want to kind of put that underneath the concealer that I'm using now, and that's because the concealer I'm using now is more for a highlight and not really to conceal. The Dark Circle one was more of the concealer for me. Now I'm using a pressed powder by Tarte. I think this is from the Amazonian Clay collection. It, of course, for some reason, it doesn't have a name on it. I think it's just like a light powder. It's probably like a light or medium shade. And I'm just using this to set her T-zone everywhere that I put that concealer. Now the bronzer that I'm using is by MAC, and it's in the shade Give Me Sun. And this is an awesome bronzer. It really does look like you were outside in the sun just catching a tan. So it's a very healthy bronzer. I love this one, and I think it works for tan skin. It works for lighter skin tones. And I'm going in right now just with a clean synthetic brush in between, just to blend that out without moving the makeup around. I don't want any dense brushes pushing makeup around and taking makeup off. So the synthetic brush is very, very light, and it's just going to kind of blend everything without moving anything. And of course, I'm going on her jawline and bringing it down her neck a little bit. I don't apply new bronzer directly onto her neck. I start it at her jaw, and then I kind of bring whatever's extra on the brush down her neck. Now I'm using Gold Deposit by MAC, and this is a gold highlighter. And I'm putting that right on top of the kind of contour that I did on her face, just to deepen it a little bit and make it look more bronzy. And a little on her lip and under her bottom lip as well, just to give her a really nice glow. Now I'm going in with Opal. It's a highlighter by Becca, and this is more of like a pearly kind of highlighter, but I'm just blending that in with the gold to kind of just add a little extra pop. This one is really, really shimmery, and it's going to give her a really, not shimmery, I'm sorry. It's a really strong highlight, so this is going to give her a really, really nice sun-kissed look and dewy. You can already see that she has a nice highlight. That Opal highlighter gave her that really like iridescent looking highlight that we need in her T-zone, and then the gold deposit gave her a really nice healthy bronzy glow on her cheeks. The blush that I'm using for her, I barely used any, as you can see. It's called Style, and it is by MAC, and it's a very corally gold kind of highlight. And now I'm filling in her brows with Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powder. And this is in the shade Brunette. And I'm trying to do more of these videos so that you can see makeup on different face types and skin tones other than just my own. Now the eyeshadow I'm using is by Colourpop Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Super Shock, and it's a very like moussey eyeshadow, so applying it with your finger is your best bet. And I'm going right on top of that with a Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Afterglow. And I'm using my finger. This one is not a moussey eyeshadow, it's a loose pigment, so you have to make sure you kind of blow the excess off so it doesn't drip, you know, kind of catch onto her face. And I'm using that same Afterglow pigment on the tear duct area of her face. Of course, you have to add mascara. This one is by Ulta actually, and the lashes that I'm using are by Ardell, and these are the Demi Wispies. These are my favorite. I love these. And just, you know, letting them dry. I really hope these new videos kind of help you guys. I do want to show you variety, and I don't want to limit my makeup to only my face. I definitely want you guys to see different skin tones, like I said, and face shapes other than my own. So for her lips, I mixed 2 Gerard cosmetic lip glosses to make a very nice like coral pastel color, and I mixed Salmon and I mixed Buttercream. So I mixed almost like a orangey and then also a nude lip gloss together, and came up with this color, which is a very like beachy shade to me and very like sun-kissed. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I am definitely going to be bringing more people onto my channel so you guys can see different makeup, but I really love the way this came out, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.